If you have just an extra $300 sitting around, then investing $50 into each of the meme coins I'm about to share with you in this video may be the smartest thing you do all year. Because not only will I share the potential that each of these meme coins have in terms of percentage gains or price targets, but I'll also share just how risky they are from a safest perspective to a safer perspective and a slightly more risky perspective. Now, for context, none of the tokens I share in this video will be obvious rug pulls or, put another way, scams. The majority of these have good history, they have a good track record, we can look at their charts, they have a strong social media presence, strong communities, and will likely do really well into Trump's inauguration on January 20th. However, for an obvious disclaimer, none of anything I share in this video is intended to be financial advice. Everything I share is for informational and educational purposes only. So if you do end up losing a bit of money, you can't blame me, because investing in crypto is risky and investing into meme coins is even riskier. However, I do believe the rewards far outweigh the risks, especially when it comes to $300. Like, I spend $300 all the time and I don't remember where all of that money goes every single month. But if I had instead invested it into any of these meme coins and they turned into moonshot 100x's, that is life-changing. Now, back in November, when Trump won the election, markets starkly turned up. Even Bitcoin rallied hard from just about 68 to 69k for a 56% gain all the way to 108k. And although markets have cooled off just a little bit, according to an article from Barron's, the Trump trade is still very much alive and well into 2025. As on January 20th, the inauguration of Donald Trump as America's 47th president could signal the type of global change last seen after World War II, long before many people watching this video were born. And how in this article they state that stocks, and that would include crypto, will likely resume their rally as campaign promises, including using tariffs and other policies to boost America's interest, become reality. This should be the primary investment thesis into 2025. In other words, we are bullish. Now, if this is our primary investment thesis, then I believe markets will also do well, especially with crypto, and it usually correlates to outsized returns for meme coins. And through the entire year in 2024, according to a report from CoinGecko, meme coins were the top performing narrative, which captured a combined 30.67% of global investor interest across the main meme coin narrative and 25 other meme coin trends. And we're not just talking about meme coins, they were number one talked about over AI, real world assets, Solana ecosystem, gaming, layer one, and you name it. Now, I've been investing in crypto for a long time now, and I found that one narrative will typically outperform throughout the entire bull market cycle. So if one was already doing well in the prior year, into the end of a major bull run, it will continue to outperform the rest. And I don't believe we're done just yet with this bull market cycle, as every single time we've peaked on the stock to flow model, which is a pretty accurate model for the value or the fair value of Bitcoin, we then cool off and come down to the lower range. As you can see here, we even peaked off right back here in 2021. Well, right now we're well below that trajectory and the price that the stock to flow says we will be in 2025, which is going to put Bitcoin at about $400,000, which is $300,000 up from now. Now, if Bitcoin is performing that well, the rest of the crypto market is going to follow. As I always say, a rising tide raises all ships. That said, the Trump trade is still very much on. Memes will likely continue to outperform. And what's the worst that can happen? We lose a couple $100. And to start this video, I'll quote one of the most well-known meme investors on the planet, Murad, who says this: "Meme coins are young people's crypto. You don't fade young people, you follow them. The earlier, the better. Meme coins is their asset class, and it will continue to outperform." So if you're feeling blessed and bullish, comment 777. And if you're going to be the wealthiest person in your family tree, smash the subscribe button. Hello and welcome back to the Bull Runners channel. If you're new here, my name is Paul and you can find me on Twitter or X at PauliDeFi, Paulie DEFI. Now, in the beginning of this video, I'll cover two meme coins that I think are really low risk plays, or better yet, our safest plays that will continue to perform well through the end of the year, but more specifically into the inauguration. Then in the middle of this video, I'll share our safer plays, cryptos that I believe will do extremely well into the inauguration especially, and shortly thereafter. And at the end, I'll share two higher risk plays, but ones that I'm highly convicted in and I believe have the potential to 50x and even 100x respectively. So without further ado, pick number one and one of the safer plays on the list is going to be SPX 6900. Now SPX specifically stands for the SPX, which is the SPY or the S&P 500 index, and 6900 is just for funsies. It's basically a meme, right? 69 being a hilarious price, if you will. And when you go to their website, you can see that they actually made a hilarious, what seems to be a news website. Thousands are waking up to the reality that 6900 is more than 500. And basically what they want this thing to do is to flip the entire US stock market. So that said, they even toss a bunch of funny meme articles in here, as Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Printwell struggles to balance the pressures of mass money printing. This is totally a meme website. However, when you actually look at the total market cap, they're currently sitting at $1.2 billion. And more importantly, this does land as one of the top picks for Murad, again, one of the best meme coin investors to have ever walked the face of the earth, and how even it bounced extremely strong from the December 20th low, upwards of 142%. Now, whenever you see relative strength like that, that is a good indicator that there is a lot of demand. This is totally related to the US stock market, except it's a total meme. And this chart looks absolutely nasty. It looks so good compared to most other charts, not just in crypto, but in meme coins in general. Again, we're talking this December 20th low was down at around 55 cents. Currently, we're sitting at about $1.28. And I do believe this thing has a lot of room to grow, as it not only broke out from its previous all-time high right around here at about 96 cents up to $1, but is now into new all-time high territory. Now, here's the thing. This chart looks stronger than the majority of charts I've ever checked out. This thing is on Ethereum. So if you ever wanted to find the token or contract address, you can come over to Bird Eye, look it up, make sure it's the right one. You can copy, or even better, you can go to something like CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap and then look up the actual token SPX 6900. Make sure it's the one with the largest market cap, and it should show you the contract address right here. You can copy and paste that into your DeFi wallet and browser. Make sure it's always the right one, because everything I share in here, it has potential to have a scam behind it, right? There's going to be others that make it look like it's the real one, but it's not. And so you might be buying a total honeypot or something that'll make you lose your money. So that said, when we look at the price action on something like this, it's truly astounding. And on a breakout after having put in an all-time high back in October of this year is actually kind of a big deal. So what this is signaling is relative strength, that people want the SPX token into an inauguration for Donald Trump. I think this is an easy play, and something that I personally will be investing into. Not that I recommend that everyone does it, but as you can see here, this thing has really put in some insane gains, currently sitting at over $1 billion market cap. I don't see why this thing couldn't go to at least 20. So that said, it is possible that you could 10 to 20x your money on something like this. In other words, if you put $50 in, and this thing at least 15 X's by the end of the bull run, considering the relative strength, I think it's very much possible and potential now, then you would turn $50 into at least $750. Let's move on to pick number two. Pick number two is also a really safe play, at least in the meme coin world. Currently sitting at a $1.9 billion market cap is Floki. Now, why I like Floki is because I believe they put in more work and time and have one of the strongest communities in all of crypto, that they can actually back what they're doing. That said, the contract address would be right here. It is on Ethereum and more specifically Binance Smart Chain. However, they are available on a lot of markets. If you just scroll down on something like CoinGecko, you can see that you can buy Floki Floki, on Maxi, on Binance, on OKX, Bybit, you name it. Okay, and then obviously all of your DeFi exchanges. However, this is a really safe crypto and a play. I do think it has legs and potential for a major move, especially when you go to their website and you see just how much they've been doing. They've not only been featured on these programs like MTV, MSNBC, all over the Cointelegraph, Discover, but they even have ecosystems within their ecosystem. They spent a lot of community money and funds inside of their DAO to do all sorts of really cool things, like build out their Web3 metaverse gaming, which is coming out Q1 of 2025. It's called Valhalla. You can click on information and you can see that this is their actual flagship product that will be using their Floki token. You can see that they have a TokenFi platform. Now, this platform is extremely powerful because it gives the users all they need to create a token or tokenize real world assets in a simple all-in-one platform, and you don't have to write a single line of code. Then they have everything from staking to FlokiFi to NFTs to debit cards that support 8+ change and have no transaction fees. They have a trading bot for Telegram, which we'll link down below in this video. And most recently, their DAO voted in favor of a proposal to provide liquidity for the creation of a Floki ETP, which is actually huge. This is putting Floki in the realm of true TradFi. When you think of TradFi products, we're talking traditional finance. You have to understand that there is a lot of money inside of these major investment funds, pensions, and you name it. And if they have access to an exchange traded product or an ETP, then more and more money has access to something like Floki. Before then, think about how difficult it was to actually buy something like Floki. But now Floki's DAO has voted in favor to add a portion of their 16.3 billion Floki tokens currently residing in a community buyback wallet being used to provision liquidity for the Floki ETP, while the rest is going to get burned. So when I see things like this happening inside of a community, when I see the amount of utility that they consistently work on providing for their community, when I see that they're going to launch their entire Valhalla ecosystem and game in Q1 of this year, which is going to use the Floki token inside of that game, I think this is huge news. And then you add an ETP into the mix where traditional investors can actually access something like Floki. To me, it's an absolute no-brainer. Now, here is why I get really excited about Floki, and more specifically this chart in terms of the price action. I believe this thing has the potential to at least 20x this bull market cycle. What that would mean is it would go from a $2 billion market cap up to a $40 billion market cap. And I think $40 billion is kind of really where the big players are going to be at the end of this bull market cycle. I think 40 billion is very realistic for the best meme coins in all of crypto. And more specifically, when you see that in 2021, it popped up to this range high right up here of 0.0003. And it has failed to break above there for quite some time. I should say 0.0003, yes. Okay, that said, we are now painting one of the largest cup and handle patterns I've ever seen in crypto history. I'm not even kidding. I don't think I've seen any charts that look this bullish. If I go ahead and take a few tools here and drag across the way to the local high from the previous high all the way to the current high, and then grab it and drag it and look like that, then over here I do the exact same thing to present day, you can see that this right here would be our cup, this right here would be our handle, and as you can see here, we're painting a new uptrend for a series of higher lows, yet we have failed to put in a higher high. So if we start to continue to trend right here and get back above this range right here at a 0.0002, then it's very likely we're going back up to the 0.0003 range. When we break above there into an inauguration, I think everything is going to rally, and I think something like this that has real utility and has a lot of reasons for you to want to hold and buy that token and then use it in their ecosystems, and now with an ETP, it's game over. The reality is Floki is literally the first crypto meme to pioneer the concept of a community takeover. Back in 2021, when their original developers rugged and the project was going to die, the entire team pooled all of their resources and then took control of this. This is what we call a CTO. And to this day, if you actually hop inside of the Floki community on their Telegram, you can see it is one of the most active communities in all of crypto. And over on their website, they even state that the Floki Vikings is a global community of over 495,000 people. Now, the reality is they also have a crap load of wallets. They have a lot of traction. And with a chart like that, I would say it's very hard to sleep on. With a series of higher lows, not having yet a higher high, I think into the inauguration, this is an easy play. In other words, if this thing 20x's, $50 would turn into $1,000. Now, really quickly, if you haven't already, and before we dive into those next couple of meme coins, head on over to bullrunners.com. You can find the link in the description below. If you want to become an expert meme coin picker, or just generally speaking, pick the best altcoins into a bull run, then this is the place for you, because we are committed to helping you become a crypto millionaire in 2025. If that is a goal you have, and we have bar none the best community on planet Earth. We have 11 to 1,200 members paying between $97 to $197 a month. Again, the people that got started before January 1st locked in that rate. However, the price is now $197 a month. And yes, at some point in the future, as we continue to add all sorts of members, we will be raising the price again to $297, because we want this to not only be exclusive, but we want to really thin the herd here and make sure that we're doing the best job possible of providing real value, especially when we're talking on these live calls. So not only will you get all sorts of altcoin picks, learn how to do technical analysis and fundamental analysis like a pro, you're going to learn how to get access to the best DeFi yields to put your crypto to work for you, how to get airdrop alerts. You're going to be able to hop on live calls and get all sorts of questions answered. You're going to have hundreds of hours of expert classes and courses. And all this comes down to $1,970 per year, or $197 a month. So all you have to do to check that out and find meme coins before everyone else, because we share them in here, and not just meme coins, right? All sorts of altcoins. Watch this 26-minute video. Go to bullrunners.com. Link is in the bio or description below. And let's get back into the video. Now, for the next couple of tokens, we're going to be looking at the Politify coins by market cap over on CoinGecko. And one of the most obvious plays right now is going to be your number 531 rank market cap token, MAGA, or Trump, which is currently sitting at $2.73, and I believe is already getting pumped pretty hard because people are buying it into the inauguration. Right now we have a market cap of $128 million, which I think this thing could easily pump to $2 to $5 billion. If not by the inauguration, probably shortly thereafter or by the end of the bull run. But I think a play like this is obvious, considering it is the largest Trump token, which the ticker is MAGA. Now, this is an Ethereum-based token. So again, you're going to want to make sure that you have the right contract address, and the easiest way to do that is by going to something like CoinGecko and then just copying the contract address and then tossing it into something like Uniswap to make sure that you get the right token. That said, the current price, again, $2.73, and if you go over to Bird Eye, you can see that the price action on something like this has been very, very strong, but more specifically today, it pumped pretty hard and broke above its recent trend line, or better yet, I should say resistance. Right here, we had a breakdown for a resistance and then a break above what will now be a support. And I believe if we break above this descending wedge, which we are very close to doing as of right now, then this thing is going to fly to some new all-time highs. Again, I believe this thing could go to at least a $2 to $5 billion market cap. So if it went to a $5 billion market cap and you invested $50, then that would be a 39x from present day prices. In other words, $50 would turn into $1,950. And again, that's probably by the end of the bull run. I think we could easily get to $1 billion, potentially even by the inauguration, considering this is looking really strong, and consistently the chart has looked really strong. We also have a lot of history. This does have a very strong community. We're talking since August of 2023. It's obviously not a rug pull. This thing has legs. So that said, I think into an inauguration, the obvious choice is going to be a Trump token, and that would be MAGA. Now, the next few plays I think are going to be landing in the slightly more risky, however, still pretty solid investments. That said, anything can happen with these types of things, and nothing is guaranteed in crypto. However, the more risky they are, usually the stronger or the bigger the reward, considering a smaller market cap leaves a lot more room for gains. It also leaves less room for liquidity. So you have to make your decision. But again, and when you were talking about $50, really how much do we actually have to lose? Now I'm looking at Murad's actual pick list. As you can see here, top picks by Murad, and then by market cap. And way down here at 1290, we have America coin, or USA coin, currently sitting at a $24 million market cap. So when you go ahead and click on that, you can scroll down and you can see that it is a Solana based contract address. So this is a Solana meme coin. Again, at $24 million, this thing could easily hit $300 to $500 billion, especially into the end of the bull run. Now, here's what's funny. They say this token is a parody and has no affiliation with the country of America. Could you imagine an American coin only having a $24 million market cap? That said, the USA coin, if you need that contract address, you'll find it right here. Now, from a price action perspective and a chart, this thing actually has more room to grow than virtually all the other ones we've covered so far, considering the fact that we have an all-time high right up here at that 9.3 range. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and state how many zeros are there, considering it's 5 and it's a lot, and I'm going to move myself. However, what I would like to see is for this token, again, to break above that descending wedge right here. We have our all-time high here. We have some wicks to the upside, but generally speaking, I'm hitting the majority of the points right here. And now we have a really strong support and what seems to be the local low into a rally and a pump. So now we have kind of like this situation where we have one bottom here, two bottoms here, three bottoms here, potentially a double bottom right here, or what I like to call a W winners pattern, and a breakout above this current range up to this descending wedge or trend line will take us to some new highs. Again, this thing is looking very strong, and I think it's an easy play considering it's USA into the inauguration. I think all of these types of meme coins are really going to rally. So a $50 investment into something like this, I don't want to say, where it's exactly going to go, but I think this thing could hit $200 to $500 million. I think $200 million is far more realistic, so we're going to aim for that. Still turns $50 into over $400. Now, again, that's on the small end. I don't know what's going to happen with a token like this, considering it is far less large and it's already sitting at a fully diluted market value of $24 million. So the reality is something like this is still a major play for anyone who wants to take a bit more risk on. And the ones that I shared earlier, even though they are bigger and even though they can pump really hard, at the end of the day, it is harder for them to move. So when it comes to these riskier plays, they are more of a wild card. They may never get to $100 million, but if they do, you're going to be far more happy. Whereas the other ones might be slightly more likely to continue to rally, but then they're less likely to pump really, really hard. These are ultimately just my predictions, but I think this thing could hit at least $200 million, if not $500 million. $500 million, you'd have about $1,000. So that said, great idea into the election and inauguration. Now, this next token that I'm going to cover is also really risky. However, it will provide some insane gains if it does well, and it's none other than Size. If you go to CoinMarketCap and look up Size, S-I-Z-E, we're trading in Size. You can see that it is basically a fat Pepe frog, and they've had a lot of time and price action and chart history for me to understand and know that it is not a rug. However, it is such a small market cap. We're currently sitting at $2.67 million. Okay, this is such a small market cap that I could easily see this thing, if it continues to do well, to 100x any amount of money I toss in. So a 100x on $50 would turn it into $5,000. This is a Solana contract address, but what I love is when I went over to their website and you scroll on down, it's a cute little website. You can see right down here, if I click and copy token address, all of these little things fall out of the sky. So it's actually pretty funny. But here is the contract address. You can see that they have their story, that they're consistently verified on CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap, DexScreener, Jupiter, yada, yada, yada. So they've been around for quite some time. Most importantly, if I go ahead and look at the chart, you can see that they have a lot of price action history. So again, we're talking back since December of 2023. They had an all-time high back there. I'll go ahead and put a horizontal line right there at their all-time high. And as you can see here, we broke out for a new all-time high recently in November. And since that point in time, this thing has failed to put in a new high. However, we are in a very, very strong uptrend. So any dips, in my opinion, would be for for buying, especially when you're looking at that daily time frame. I'll go ahead and put another line right there for a horizontal support. As you can see here, this 0.0019 range is acting as a pretty strong support, and it's failed to break down for quite some time now. Now, especially when you pull up the volume tool, you can see just how explosive this volume was into each and every single breakout for a new local high back here and an all-time high here. So now volume has consistently been declining as this thing has been getting some level of support or building a strong range. And then right here, as you can see on this day, we had a lot of buy volume step in. So even though the price hasn't broken out, it's failed to break back down. And when you have a strong trend like this on a $2.6 million token, things are looking really good. What I mostly like is the fact that I've been in their community. You can go to their Telegram. You can find that directly on here. If you just scroll down, you can see their Twitter and their Telegram. They're consistently active on Twitter, but also on Telegram. And they're consistently engaging with all of these people. They've been doing it since December. So that said, when I see that type of price action, when I see this type of a breakout, when I see a bit of volume stepping in right here, a strong support from a previous range high, this is going to look a lot like Floki. Currently, it's ahead of Floki because it's already broke out, and I think this thing has potential to 100x. And so in order for me to want to invest into any token like this, considering it is relatively small, first I have to see that they've been around for quite a while. Then I have to see that they're actually active on their Telegram and Twitter for quite some time, and they're not just giving up when things aren't looking good on the price action, and that's the case. Then I come over to the Telegram and see, do they have any other resources? And so when I clicked on these pinned posts and I kept clicking, I actually found one pinned post where they had all of their Google Drive and all of these images that you can use to create your own memes. So I don't know of any other meme coin at this current local low price of only $2.6 million market cap that has as many memes and has put in as much effort as these guys have. So I don't know who's behind this. I don't know what's going on here. All I know is that this thing looks pretty freaking good when you look at the level of effort and time they've put into this thing. So there's some pretty funny ones, as you can see. And when you go and click on their Telegram, you'll find these things, and then you can post them yourself or do whatever you want, or you can just be the weirdo with a bunch of fat frogs chilling in your phone reel. And for the final pick, we are looking at Dolan Trump into the Trump inauguration. I think this is, again, another really easy play. Currently sitting at an $18.2 million market cap. So do the math. The other one's only 2.6 million. It would like 8-9x your money just getting to an $18 million market cap, which is why sometimes those are the riskiest plays, but also the best. But then when you're looking at Dolan Trump, this is a far smaller market cap than virtually all of the other Trump tokens and has a lot of history. That said, what I love most about Dolan Trump is not just the fact that it looks funny, or also the fact that it's a Solana meme coin. Personally, I like Solana meme coins more than I like Ethereum meme coins because I don't like having the slow wait times or the gas fees. But then you can come over to Trump.xyz and you can just see that it is absolutely hilarious. Trump mech memes gret again. Okay, and so funny, cute little website. But what I actually like the most is the fact that it is actually listed on Kraken. So to me, this is massive. Not because Kraken is the largest crypto exchange, but it is a centralized US-based exchange that operates under the laws of the United States. So it's kind of like Coinbase. Both Coinbase and Kraken have a really good track record in history of only sharing and listing good cryptos where they've done their due diligence and vetting. So if they listed Trump, it's probably because they've done their homework into the team, into Trump, into that token, and found that yes, this is a token that we're willing to list because it is not a rug or a scam. So more than any other token, I think Trump has a lot of potential to grow and probably even 50x your money, considering it's only sitting at an $18 million market cap. This would put Trump at just under a $1 billion market cap. And I think any meme that's worth its salt, especially if it's listed on Kraken and has the name of Donald Trump into the inauguration, will do well. So I think any momentum it gets here could propel it to a $900 million market cap, and this would 50x your money for a $2,500 play. In other words, $50 would turn into $2,500. This is a massive move, and I think it's already starting to show up in the chart. When you look at the Trump chart, you can see right here, again, on Solana, the best way to get access to these things is go to something that is trusted like CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap. Make sure you click and copy the contract address, and it'll show you where it's at. This is on a Solana Solana blockchain. So you can do something like jupe.ag or whatever. But that said, the chart is looking really freaking good. We put in some all-time highs here at about $1.30, currently sitting at 18 cents. So we are well below that range right there. I'll go ahead and take a horizontal support and resistance. Guys, this is how simple this can be sometimes, okay? This is the all-time high we're gunning for. Then what we've done is put in some local new lows or higher low or lower highs, right, in this range right here. So as you can see here, this is our all-time high. This is our next range high. This is our current high. We are not touching the range high just yet or this downtrend resistance. However, we have seemed to put in a local low for a support. So I'll go ahead and get those horizontal lines again. And as you can see here, this was our previous support before breaking to a new high, only to see the market drop for a little while, put in what looks to be a reverse head and shoulders and break above, right back above this range low for a support. So anything above this range is looking really good as we've now started to put in some new higher lows. A series of higher lows means this low is higher than this low and this low is higher than this low. So if we break above this range right here into the inauguration, I think this thing could easily fly back up to that previous range high right here at $1.32, which would still give us a 12,000% gain. However, if we continued running, right, we could see an insane gain of like 50,000% all the way up to $80. So that said, or even like $90. So $90 would be my all-time high price range or prediction price. However, even going up to that previous high right here into the inauguration of 12,200 to 300% is absolutely mind-blowing. Thanks so much for watching the video. If you haven't already, head on over to bullrunners.com to check out Altcoin Pro University. And on the other side, you will see this 26-minute video that explains exactly what you get at the current price that we're offering it. And by the way, if you want to learn how to pick and find meme coins like this, well, guess what? Not only will we be teaching you that, but we even have pros and experts sharing all of these meme coin picks before we share them with anyone else on the channel. So that said, go to go to bullrunners.com. You can find the link in the description below and check this out. Thanks so much for watching the video. If you learned something new or you enjoyed it, subscribe, and I will see you next time.